welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Sue Kerrigan-Harris and I have a passion for pastels. Today I'm going to show you what to do with white Pastelmat. If you really don't like working on white paper, I certainly don't, this is a really good option for you if you have some sheets of white, because Pastelmat comes in pads sometimes. If you haven't bought the big sheets and you've bought the pads and you've got some white sheets that you really don't know what to do with, keep watching and I'll show you what you can do. So I have a piece of Pastelmat. I've got a spray bottle of water. This is nothing special, it's just a really good spray bottle. And some ink. It needs to be water-based ink because Pastelmat isn't, well, I wouldn't recommend using anything other than water on Pastelmat. Now you need a paintbrush as well. Nothing special, absolutely nothing special, anything you have will do, and you can use it without water, but I found that spraying the paper with water is a really good way to start, and it really disperses the ink and works really well. So you can spray some at the start and then you can add some more as you go. You see, I just put a little drop of ink on there by mistake, but it's gone, so we can just work away. Now this one I'm going to make blue. I'm just going to see how it goes. We can just drip that on. And you can lift it up, move it about and make some nice patterns. Goes really well on this Pastelmat paper. You can add some more water to water it down, get it flowing better. I found it's better to not have brush strokes in it because it creates such a lovely effect without the brush strokes. If it's not moving where you want it to go, you can just add a little bit more. Now, one thing I have found with the drying is don't rush it. Don't try and get it to dry quicker than it wants to, because I put it on a radiator and I ended up with marks where it was drying quicker, and so there was lines similar to this over the paper. There we go. If you wanted it darker, sorry I went off the camera there, getting carried away. If you want it to have more colour in, you can just add more colours. You'll see in a minute that we're going to add more colours. This is a great way to get a lovely colour to your paper and not waste all that white that you've got that you don't really know what to do with. So it does take a while to do this, and when you've done it you do need to get all the drips off, otherwise you end up with dark lines around the edge. So you could just make your paper bigger and then you wouldn't have a problem with edges, so bigger than the size that you were planning to do. So I'm just getting that to drip down, completely cover the paper and not have any marks in the paper. I'm really not a watercolour artist or anything to do with paintbrushes, so this is completely out of my comfort zone, but I'm really loving the effect, so I'm going to keep doing it and experimenting with this technique. Oh wow, look at that. You don't really have much control over this apart from practice. So I'm really glad it's water-based because it will come off my table. Right, that's going really well now. It's dripping down there. I just want it to run a bit more. There we go. Now you can see it dripping off, and you really do need to let it finish dripping before you set it down. Otherwise you'll end up with this line all the way along here. If you've got some blotting paper or kitchen paper, that would be ideal. Right, so we're going to try something else now. Please do subscribe to my channel down here, and if you enjoy this video, please like my post. For our next one, we're going to have some really beautiful colours. I have got a violet, I've got, what's this one? I don't even think this one has got a name, but you can see the colour. Oh, it's called purple, but I'd say it was more magenta. So a little drop on there already, which I dripped on by mistake. And, oh, what's that? I don't know what that is. A bit of dirt. Doesn't really matter. So it's really good if you've got a piece of marked Pastelmat as well, and you can't get the mark off, you could do this with it. And I've also done it on different colour Pastelmats as well. I've used a dark grey, and that was really effective. So you could tap your paintbrush like that and get some interesting effects, or just pour it on like that and add some violet like that. And I do love this ultramarine or aqua colour. Trouble is, once you get it in the lids, it's really hard to see what colour it is, so you do need to be a bit organised. And some green down here. I think I'll put some more of the purple over there and a bit more of the pink. It's all running really nicely together. So I'm just going to do this quite slowly, carefully. Fill the page over there in the corners first before I come back. Can just go like that. That won't hurt too much. Sometimes it just gets stuck there. Now we can come across, I'll put some more pink on. Loving that pink. And then I'm going to come across this way. A bit more pink, I think. And some of the ultramarine turquoise. And now I should just be able to run it all down this way and see what we get. Don't want to do too much with the paintbrush. Just letting it do its own thing is probably the best thing. A bit more green, a bit more blue. I'm just going to spin that around and bring it down this way and let it drip. Pretty much leave it like that, I think. Now, if you just bear with me a moment, I will show you something that I created on a piece of Pastelmat that I dyed before I started working on it. Well, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? And I can't wait for those to dry and start using my pastels on them. One that I made at the weekend, I have done some pastel work on it, and I'm really pleased with the result. It's not a work of art, it's far from being my best work, but it was definitely a really good trial to see if this would work at all. Here it is here. So I've used the pastel, Unison pastels on top, some pastel pencils, and I've done a portrait. This actual photo I've put in the links below so you can do it yourself if you want to. It's very enjoyable, a really different experience to doing my normal style of portraits, and I'll certainly be doing more in the future. If you have a go, I would really love to see your results. So do join me in my Facebook group, Pastel for Beginners and Beyond, or drop me a comment below.